What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. Today is day 9 of Dragon Ball Super's reveals for Universal Onslaught, and I gotta say, I did not have a lot of hope for this deck, for the black archetype, just seeing some of the initial cards, but after getting to see what the Majin Buu archetype is capable of, this deck is aggro as hell. Majin Buu is going all in. Let's go ahead and check this shit out. So first up, we've got our leader, Bobbidi. We've already seen this leader, so we're not going to touch up on him too much. His auto says, when this card attacks, draw one card. He gets plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. We have no cards in your hand. You may draw 3 cards, choose 2 cards in your life, add them to your hand, and then flip this card over. So you can awaken on literally turn 1 if you really wanted to. On the awaken side, we have Majin Buu, one with nothingness. His auto says, if you have no cards in your hand, at the end of your turn, draw 5 cards. His activate main says, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area, and choose one of your opponent's battle cards that energy costs 3 or less, and place it under this card. Or this card gets plus 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Now, this is not a once per turn ability, so you can do this multiple times to make sure that you have no cards in hand, so you can trigger your battle cards abilities, and so you can get the plus 5 to draw at the end of your turn. Honestly, this leader is, after having given it some thought from the first time we did a video on him, he's got some real ridiculous potential. It's not hard to just dump your hand, especially with an ability like that just let you use all your cards for just one ability and just keep pitching them. So this card can be really pretty fucking dangerous and get up to a really high power level. Then we have Demonic Absorption. It's a 3-cost extra card. It says, if your leader card is black, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and send it to its owner's warp. So essentially, this is a black version of the Ultimate Evil Absorption that we had in set 3. There's basically a blue version that said, take one of your opponent's cards, place it under your leader. Now, this is just a black variant that says, we're not really worried about that, just get the hell out of here. Just warp it. Bye. And then, of course, choose one of your leader or battle cards, gets plus 5,000 for the duration of the turn. You can activate that without the energy cost. So the same as all the other colored extra cards that we have in this set. Up next, we have Debora, Darkness Perfected. This is actually the card that we took a look at this in another video. He was a promo card for either, I can't remember if it was for Team Wars or if it was for the draft events. He's a 3-cost, 15,000 counterplay. It says, play this card if all your energy is black, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand and drop area by 1. And during your opponent's turn, when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and it can't attack or activate skills for the duration of the turn. So, it's a really cool ability, and it gets around Deflect, because the counterplay just lets you play the card. So, the counterplay ability is not what is touching the card that you're targeting. It's his auto, which is already past the counter phase. Because now you're in the phase of, he's in play, his auto's triggering, and you can pick your opponent's card and be like, oh yeah, that's not touching me. Not this turn, it's not. And then hopefully you can kill it on the following turn. So really cool card, great card for Debora. Really only good for mono black decks, I think. I think it feels like most of the support is just geared towards mono black decks. I mean, you could play him for 3 if you had other colors in your energy, but is that worth it? I'm not really sure. Then we have Bobbidi, Unrepentant Sorcerer. He's a 1-cost, 5,000 power. His auto says, if all of your energy is black, and you have 2 or more energy, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area. When you play this card, choose up to 1 Debora, Pui Pui, Yakon, or Majin Buu card in your drop area with energy cost of 2 or less, and play it. You can't play Bobbidi, Unrepentant Sorcerer, for the duration of the turn. So that's crazy. Because, as we just saw, that Debora can be a 2-cost in your drop area. So you could play that Debora via this Bobbidi's ability. We have not seen a Pui Pui or a Yakon. Anytime we've gotten Pui Pui and Yakon in the other sets, they've just been garbage cards, just filler to fit the theme of, Bobbidi and all his henchmen. Are they going to be useful this time around? I would hope so, just because I'm tired of there being so many filler cards that just are a complete waste. Especially for, those of us that buy so many cards, buy boxes or just rip into packs, and you've got all these dead cards that are just never ever going to be good. We have yet to see a Majin Buu with an entry cost of 2 or less, I believe. Actually, I take that back. We have seen him. He's Majin Buu Ghastly Rampage. He's a 2-cost 15k. His activate main says, if all of your energy is black, you have no cards in your hand, and you place this card in its owner's drop area, choose one. Choose up to one black Majin Buu with the energy cost of 3 or 4 in your drop area and play it. If you have 3 or more energy, choose up to one black Majin Buu in your energy between 3 and 6 in your drop area and play it. So this is the card that starts everything. This is the Majin Buu that picks up on your entire chain from Super Buu all the way up to Majin Buu's pure form. So the ideal play is going to be to play Bobbidi. Bobbidi's going to you're going to discard a card, you're going to choose this Majin Buu in your drop area, this Majin Buu is going to come out. Majin Buu is going to attack, he'll use his activate main, and he'll go into the 3-drop Majin Buu. Now, we haven't seen a 3-drop Majin Buu yet. I'm assuming there's going to be one, unless it's either just hasn't been revealed yet, or it's going to be a promo. Because this card states a Majin Buu with energy cost between 3 and 4, and the other abilities states between 3 and 6. So there is obviously going to be a 3-drop, otherwise they wouldn't be mentioning it. They would just say a 4-drop or between 4 and 6. Then we have Bobbidi, Primeval Conjurer. He's going to be our super combo for this set, and oh boy, his ability is interesting. So if you notice, he only has a plus 3,000 combo power. But his auto says if all of your energy is black, when you combo with this card from your hand, this card gets plus 1,000 combo power for the duration of the turn for each card in your drop area and war. It's a shame that this deck can't just be abused by any Overwhelm deck, and at the same time, it's a good thing it can't. Now, there are ways you could play this with just any Overwhelm deck. You just have to play it, you know, mono black. And I've got a couple mono black decks that I know people are like, well, that's fucking stupid. Well, perhaps. But, if I can play this in there, I mean, now, plus 1,000 for each card in your drop and warp can be anything from minuscule to pretty fucking great. So, he already starts off at 3. Chances are, on your first, second, third turn, you're gonna have over 10. So you're gonna have a good amount of combo power. I think this is a fantastic super combo ability, and very, very abusable with, well, shit, with any black deck really, but especially with Overwhelm. Then we have Majin Buu, Steadfast Absorption. This is the 4-cost Majin Buu. He's got 15,000 power and dual attack. When you play this card, you can't play Majin Buu, Steadfast Absorption for the duration of the turn. His activate main says if you have no cards in your hand, choose up to one black Majin Buu card in your drop area with an energy cost between 3 and 6 and play it on top of this card in active mode. This is where the deck gets stupid, because you go from that card into this card, which is Majin Buu Hybrid Absorption. He's a 5-cost 25,000 with critical. It says, his partner says this card can't be played from any area if you have 2 or less energy. His auto says, when you play this card, you can't play Majin Buu Hybrid Absorption for the duration of the turn. His activate main says the exact same thing. If you have no cards in your hand, choose a black Majin Buu in your drop area, energy cost between 3 and 6, and play it on top of this card in active mode. This is where the deck gets really fucking aggressive. Because then you're going to go into Majin Buu Unparalleled Absorption, who is also a 5-cost 25,000 with double strike. It has the same permanent that he can't be played if you have 2 or less energy. His auto says when you play this card, you can't play Majin Buu Unparalleled Absorption for the duration of the turn. And he has the same activate main, no cards in hand, black Majin Buu 3 or 6, played on top of this card in active mode. Which is Majin Buu Supreme Evil. He only has 20,000 power compared to the other 2 Majin Buus, but I think that really fits the lore of Majin Buu. He was infinitely more powerful as Majin Buu, having absorbed Gotenks or having absorbed Gohan, but he was more destructive as pure Majin Buu. His permanent says this card can't be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills. No warping it, no KOing it via extra cards or any abilities. When this card is in rest mode, your opponent can't use non-leader skills to add cards from their deck to their hand. So he's kind of trying to shut down your ability to draw cards, to search for your combo pieces, you know, whatever your cards may do. And then he's going to activate battle for 3 energy that says this card gets plus 10,000 power and triple strike for the duration of the turn. So, holy shit. So ideally, you go from the 2-drop, attack for 15k. Use his ability, Go to the 3-drop, do whatever the 3-drop does, attack, uses ability. Go to the 4-drop, attack twice with dual attack, uses ability. Go into Gotenks Absorb Majin Buu, attack with critical, uses ability. Go into Gohan Absorb Majin Buu, attack for double strike, go into his ability, and then play this Majin Buu. And if you've got 3 energy, you've got 30,000 triple strike coming at your opponent. That is a shit ton of damage. So that is your leader, the 2-drop, the 3-drop, the 4-drop's 2 attacks, both 5-drops, and then the 6-drops triple strike. That's 10 damage right there. That's 10 damage that your opponent can pull off in one fucking turn. This deck can go really hard, really fast. Granted, your opponent has to have no cards in hand, so if you have stuff to counter, they can't stop you. But if you don't have stuff to counter, they're going to stomp you. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's reveals. Honestly, I was not expecting this from the Majin Buu support. It is kind of upsetting that you can't play, like, you can't synergize any of this new Buu support with the current red-blue stuff we have at all. Like the Frieza stuff, Universe 7 stuff, you can use all that with older support. The Universe 11 crap, all the Cell and Android stuff, you can use all of that with older support. But the Majin Buu stuff, you can't, because your energy has to be black, you can't have cards in hand, like, it doesn't work to where you could use any of it. And it's a cool archetype. It's something we've never seen before. It's different, and it's a good kind of different. It's super aggressive, but the thing that I like about it is it's so aggressive, but since you have to have no cards in your hand on your turn while you're doing all of your evolutions to Buu and swapping out and just attacking over and over again, it means you have nothing to stop your opponent if your opponent goes to play a counter or anything like that. So it's balanced. Getting to do all that on turn 3, is that balanced? We'll see. But it's one of those things, again, that you just have to prepare for. And this is another time where any archetype can be countered if you stay prepared. It sucks that you have to be like, well, shit, I have to keep energy open because they're going to do this next turn, or in case they do this next turn. Well, I mean, that's kind of part of playing the game, though. And it's like that in any card game. So you're going to have to be prepared for this, just like you would have to be prepared for the old Cell chain, or like you have to be prepared for the new chain, or the new Frieza clan stuff. Like, it's all, you're going to have to be prepared. You're going to have to know what play your opponent's going to go for, and you're going to have to know what your best matchups are. And again, for a deck like this, where they're not going to have any card advantage, it's easier for you to be able to set yourself up for that. Because ideally what I'm thinking is, and correct me guys if I'm wrong, but if, say I'm playing androids, because it's me, my opponent's playing this Majin Buu stuff, they go into their turn, they've got, their cards in hand or whatever, they've got to get down to 0 cards, so they're going to say they play a Buu. They got 5 cards left. Or 4 cards, because they charge. So they play a Buu. They're down to 4 cards. They pitch all 4 cards for the leader's ability. He's got plus 20k. They can attack with him. They can attack with that 1 card. They can trigger all their abilities after that attack, but now you've got a chance to counter their plays and them not have a counter or have a way to stop it because their hand is empty. So it's one of those things where it's really balanced, and obviously this is a deck that does not give a shit about hand advantage, so any of us that are running Cell against this, it's like, hey, I'm just helping you out by dumping your hand. That's probably where, ideally, even then you could still play it, because then you'll just have a huge, 30,000 double striker, or if you're playing the successor cell, you'd have a 30,000 triple strike, you know, whatever. Stuff like that, or Lord Slug, or the Piccolo hand control stuff, is really just helping them, but at the same time, they can do that on their own because their leader's not once per turn. They can pitch all those cards anyways. So it's not like it's a great counter for hand control stuff. It just doesn't care about hand control stuff. So this is a really neat little archetype. I like it. I like the Buu support. Really interested to see what the 3 cost is going to be, and if we're going to get any more Majin Buu support, or if this is going to be the deck, and then you just fill it with generic black cards. But let me know in the comments below what you think of this support, and do you think it's going to be meta-worthy? I think it's going to be aggro as hell. Meta-worthy? We'll have to wait and see. With that, though, we're going to go ahead and get the freak out of here, and we'll see you guys in the next video.